Hello learners. Hello ninth grade learners, and welcome to your weekly instructional launch for English 9 week 6. Starting this week, we're going to be doing something new in all classes, and in English 9 we're going to be talking about the 6E format. I have a picture of it right here. You can see you might be used to doing this as it is the lesson plan that we use for Connects You. So this is week 6 ELA 9, and your learning target is that you can write a summary and find a theme in a short story. I have a couple videos here I would like you to look at on how to find a theme in a story and know what a theme is versus what a summary is. You're going to already explore by watching this video and then read directions on how to find a theme and then how to do a reassessment on how to find a theme. Okay, there is a rubric that is in your Summit Learning platform. So when you're starting to write these themes and looking for evidence, you're going to see what the rubric is. I do have a game here if you want to review and evaluate yourself on theme, and the elaboration for this is to do your checkpoints, as you should be moving on rather quickly with your checkpoints. So I do have a link right here to this lesson plan, and I will also be putting it in the Summit Learning platform, a lesson plan for 6E format. So there are a couple things I want to remind ninth graders about. Many of you are repeating, coming back to us again, but even if you are a new learner, this is what you need to know. Make sure, double check that you are making goals in your week page, because this prevents you from getting an absence. And it also helps move you along to stay on track. It's a very easy click and pick, but you should be filling up the whole page, because any teacher can go in here and see, what are you doing? Are you studying? Well, they won't know that unless you document it, that you have proof that you are studying. So click and pick, or you can type, I'm studying for my English, but you need to fill this whole thing up. This learner doesn't quite understand it, and I'm afraid that this learner might not be successful. Because, guys, the Summit Learning platform, as I've said before, the analogy is, it is like waves in the ocean. And if you don't stay on top of those waves, you're going to get knocked down rather quickly and bowled over, and you will drown and you will be behind. And here comes another wave right now. When you look at this blue line of progress, where some people call it the blue line of death, that moves a little bit every day, you're going to see that it's quickly approaching October. This project, which is called Defining Self, is very important to get done. I see that this learner is taking a lot of content assessments. Yes, part of it is tests, but it's a very small part of Summit Learning. And just taking tests is not going to get you the grade that you need. The project is the big bulk of your grade. It is worth 70%. So if you let this blue line go by without getting the project done, you're not going to get a grade. Now let's review the third thing I would like you to know, your progress page. This is where your grades pop up, but they will not show if you haven't done a project. You will see this learner has NA, not applicable, because they have not finished any project yet. And even at the bottom, they have, they are off track completely with Modern World, which must mean that the deadline has passed for that first project. And the next slide is, be aware of your timeline. Please check your calendar. I hope that you have it printed out and put somewhere in your house where you can see it. Put it on the refrigerator, put it in your workspace, but check to see that you know when that project is due. For the Defining Self, it is due on the 18th. We already passed, on last Tuesday, we passed a midterm, and you'll be seeing some reports coming out on how you're doing so far. But now it's the 30th, so we have how many days left until your project Defining Self is due? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 more days to finish defining self. And there are checkpoints along the way to get that project done. There's analysis and finding theme that you need to do. Our end of the marking period comes on the 22nd. You can use weekends to get work done. You can. It's just that we do not take attendance on weekends, and you get no support because their teachers don't work on weekends. So again, just let me recap. Notice that the end of the term is coming up October 22nd. Notice where that blue line is. Where are you in conjunction with that blue line? And know that that first English project, Defining Self, is due October 18th. All right, guys, so know a little bit about the Summit language. There is something called COG skills. COG skills stands for cognitive skills, the skills that you need, the thinking skills that you are being graded upon when you do your project. The first one that we are working on this year is theme. There are 36 cognitive skills, and I have a link to it right down here. Now, we don't do all of them. I got to make a copy really quick, and you can make a copy for yourself. In English, we do a lot of them. Here's the 36 of them that you will be working through this year. In English, mostly ours is right here in the pink, and the hot pink is what we're working on in this project. Theme. We'll also be working on selecting evidence. Let's see, where is that? Selecting evidence. There's analysis, an explanation, argumentative claim. You'll see that a lot in history, and finding evidence. Oh, this is a big one. Explanation, selection, explanation, integration of evidence. And what is evidence? It's not just something that you copy and paste by doing a Google search. In fact, you can get in a lot of trouble if you just paste something that you don't cite. That's called plagiarism. But if you have evidence and you cite it, then you're good. You are golden. One more thing I want to really hammer home is that when you are taking these content assessments, when you're studying for those tests, please remember to take notes. Another thing, don't try to Google it. It will get you in trouble. There's not always right answers out there on Google, but you use what you are learning in the playlist. Take notes. Use note cards. That's a great way to take notes. Here, I've got some note cards right here. Do flashcards for yourself. Yes? Use a notebook. How about print it out and use a highlighter? I've got one. A highlighter to study. And have those notes ready when you take your content assessment so that when you do get a question that you don't know, you'll be able to answer it. Look at this learner. They have taken this content assessment 2 times and they did not go back. If you look, they haven't clicked on any resources since the last time they took a content assessment. This, to me, when I would see this, and many teachers will, they'll take a look, say, I need to see your notes before you're ready to take this test. And they will click deny. And you will have to go back and restudy. And you might say, but I already opened up everything. I already looked it over. Well, it won't work unless you reopen. Open it up again and take better notes. Remember, a teacher can request to see your notes at any time. So be ready to share those notes so that you can have it approved and opened up. Okay, my biggest concept here, the mind blower, is ask for help when you need it. None of the teachers that work here are mind readers. Neither are your parents. Nobody can read your mind until you ask for help. So please don't say, well, nobody helped me. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. And there's ways to ask for it for teachers that work online. You can Google them. Between the hours of 8 and 4, that's the time that they work. They don't work after 4 o'clock. So if you are requesting, if you're sending a hangout like I did on a Friday at 7 o'clock in the evening, that person's not going to get an answer till I'm back to work on Monday from 8 to 4. So remember, you can send an email anytime, but it won't be answered until the next business day. All email is answered within a 24, except for the weekends, 24-hour period. Okay, learners, just one more thought before we go. Think about this. How many hours are you actually spending a week doing your schoolwork? Think about how many hours is a traditional brick and mortar student spending. They're probably there for about 7 hours, sometimes even 8 if they have an activity. You in cyber school are very privileged because you just have to follow the bare minimum of the law of the state of Pennsylvania. The school code states learners should be spending 5 hours per day on schoolwork. And now we have GoGuardian, so you are being monitored 24/7. Yes, we could get records. We can pull up the records and see how much time is this student actually spending doing schoolwork. How much are they online? Are they visiting sites that they shouldn't be visiting? Are they wasting their time? Or are they spending enough time on schoolwork? Cyber school is real school. A lot of people think, oh, well, now nobody's watching. Believe me, we are watching. The principal is watching. The superintendent is watching, looking at your data. So I hope that you are up for the challenge of being in cyber school. Okay? Have a great week.